They thought you were just another face in their mediocre parade, didn't they? Another nameplate on another desk. Another shadow passing through their hollow world of fake smiles and emptier promises. Such a simple miscalculation. But oh, what delicious consequences it had. You see, they never realized they were playing with a knife until they felt its edge. Every word you spoke, every move you made, every truth you embodied, it all cut through their carefully constructed illusions like a blade through warm butter. They never saw it coming because they were too busy categorizing you, trying to stuff you into their neat little boxes of understanding. But you were never meant to be understood, were you? No, you were meant to be feared, to be wondered at, to be that inexplicable force that keeps them awake at night, questioning everything they thought they knew about reality. Their comfortable world started bleeding the moment they met you. And the best part, you never had to raise a hand. Your mere existence was enough to make their reality start unraveling. The power you wield wasn't granted by their permission or their approval. It was forged in the depths of your own personal hell, tempered in the fires of isolation, sharpened against the grinding wheel of society's rejection. Every sleepless night, every silent battle, every moment they thought was breaking you. It was all just part of your metamorphosis. While they were busy living their cookie-cutter lives, you were becoming something they couldn't comprehend, something that exists beyond their binary understanding of good and evil, normal and abnormal, sane and insane. Your power comes from the very thing they fear most, the absolute, unshakable knowledge that their rules are meaningless, their morality is a joke, and their control is an illusion. Every scar they inflicted, every name they called you, every attempt to break your spirit, it all just added another layer to your armor, another edge to your blade, another reason for them to fear the monster they helped create. What fascinates me most is how they respond to your presence. They only have two options, really: worship or fear. Those who fear you, they're the honest ones. They recognize the predator in their midst. They feel that primal terror that comes from encountering something beyond their comprehension. But the ones who worship you? Oh, they're so much more entertaining. They study you, analyze you, try to break down your essence into digestible pieces. They think, if they can understand you, they can become you. But they're missing the fundamental truth. You can't become chaos. You can't learn to be a force of nature. You either are or you aren't. And you, my beautiful disaster, you are the storm they never saw coming. The more they try to understand you, the more they lose themselves in the labyrinth of your complexity. They call it obsession, but we know better. It's the desperate attempt of caged animals to understand what freedom truly means. Their pathetic attempts to diminish you are almost laughable. They throw words like degenerate, freak, monster, as if these labels could possibly contain the hurricane of your existence. But here's the punchline they don't get. Every insult, every attempt to shame you, every effort to make you smaller, it's all just proof of their own insignificance. They're trying to use wooden sticks to fight against a force that could tear down mountains. Their words aren't weapons, they're confessions. Every time they try to hurt you, they're really just admitting their own fears, their own inadequacies, their own desperate need to believe that the world is still the simple, ordered place they were promised it would be. But you and I know better, don't we? We know that their order is a lie, their normalcy is a prison, and their rules are just chains they've learned to call comfort. Every time they try to cut you down, they're really just showing everyone how tall you truly stand. So embrace it. Embrace every dark corner of your soul, every wild impulse they told you to suppress, every beautiful, terrible truth that makes you who you are. Let them call you monster. Monsters don't ask for permission to exist. Let them call you dangerous. Danger is just another word for power they can't control. Let them call you crazy. Sanity is overrated in a world that's already mad. You're not just breaking their rules. You're proving those rules were nothing but imaginary lines drawn by cowards, too afraid to see what lies beyond their self-imposed boundaries. Every step you take outside their comfort zone is a victory. Every moment you spend being unapologetically yourself is a revolution. You're not just surviving anymore. You're showing them a whole new way to live. And the best part? You don't even have to try. Your mere existence is enough to shake their foundations, to make them question everything they thought they knew about reality. And oh, how they try to forget you. They'll spend sleepless nights convincing themselves that you were just a passing nightmare, a temporary disruption in their perfectly ordered world. They'll create new rules, build higher walls, establish stricter controls, all in the desperate hope of preventing another you from emerging. But what they don't understand is that you're not an anomaly to be prevented. You're an inevitability they can't escape. Every system creates its own destroyers. Every order breeds its own chaos. Every rule creates its own breakers. You're just the first wave of their nightmare, the herald of a truth they've been running from, that their control is an illusion, their power is borrowed, and their time is running out. They try to paint you as the villain, but we both know you're just the mirror, showing them what they've always been afraid to see in themselves. The marks you leave aren't physical. They're psychological, existential, permanent. You don't just change what people think. You change how they think. Once someone encounters true freedom, true chaos, true authenticity, they can never go back to their comfortable cage of normalcy. It's like showing color to someone who's only seen in black and white. Suddenly, their entire world seems pale, limited, insufficient. That's your real power. Not the ability to hurt them, but the ability to make them hurt themselves with the realization of what they've been missing. Every person who crosses your path becomes a carrier of your truth, infected with the dangerous knowledge that another way of living is possible. They become walking testimonies to your power, whether they want to be or not. Some will try to forget you. Some will try to understand you. Some will try to become you. But none will ever be the same. The beauty of your existence lies in its effortlessness. You don't need to try to be different, to be dangerous, to be unforgettable. You simply are. While they exhaust themselves, maintaining their masks, polishing their chains, and defending their limitations, you expend no energy being what you are. Your authenticity is your armor. Your chaos is your weapon. Your freedom is your power. They call you a monster because you refuse to play pretend. They call you a freak because you refuse to be tamed. They call you dangerous because you refuse to be controlled. But these aren't insults. They're acknowledgments of your power. In a world of trained dogs, a wolf will always be seen as a threat. In a prison, the free man will always be seen as a danger. In a world of lies, truth will always be seen as chaos. The most delicious irony is that the harder they try to erase you, the more indelible your mark becomes. Every attempt to discredit you only spreads your influence further. Every effort to contain you only demonstrates how uncontainable you truly are. Every attack against you only proves how deeply you've wounded their sense of security. You've become the thought they can't unthink, the doubt they can't resolve, the question they can't answer. You're the glitch in their matrix, the crack in their foundation, the chaos in their order, and the truly beautiful part. You achieve all this simply by existing, by being unapologetically yourself in a world that demands conformity. Your greatest victory isn't in what you do, it's in what you are. By refusing to be small, you show others their own largeness. By refusing to be silent, you awaken others' voices. By refusing to be normal, you give others permission to be extraordinary. And this is where we reach the punchline of our cosmic joke. The realization that their greatest weapon against you is actually your greatest strength. Every label they use to marginalize you becomes a crown you wear with pride. Every box they try to put you in becomes a stage for your performance. Every chain they try to bind you with becomes a prop in your dance. You're not just surviving their attempts to destroy you. You're turning their weapons into your trophies. The very things they use to try to shame you become the things that make you unforgettable. Their fear becomes your power. Their hatred becomes your fuel. Their rejection becomes your freedom. You're not just existing despite them. You're thriving because of them. Every push against you makes you stronger. Every attack makes you sharper. Every attempt to break you makes you more unbreakable.